Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Siralim Ultimate, where once again I am playing this game after a bit of a break. Probably a good thing though, because in the interim, I had some comments on a couple of my earlier videos from a veteran of this game, and I got some really good tips. Now, I haven't been looking up too much because this is still mostly a blind playthrough. My plan was I'll keep it like I have looked up a few things. I knew I wanted to play it as an animator, so I wanted to have a build that could at least get through the game without having to, read through all 1,000 trait materials and spells, etc. to find out what I needed to. But broadly speaking, in terms of the game's bosses and what you unlock in each new stage of the game, I've tried to keep that mostly as a blind experience for me. My plan being that once I beat all of the nether bosses for the third time, then that will end my sort of initial part of this game, and then we can start doing some more interesting stuff. We can then start looking up and creating overpowered builds to just blast through realms and bosses and all of that good stuff. But for now, we're still in the final part of the early stage, let's call it. But even so, there are some good tips that I got which will help in this stage. For example, there's a spell that we desperately need to pick up, and we should have it. It should be a default spell. It should be a sorcery spell called Blank Slate. There we go. Now, well, what I'll do is I will buy this spell right now. I'll give it to one of my creatures. And, well, we've got a few modifications to make to it because I want... Who do I want to give it to? Well, you know what? Here's how we'll do it. Creatures. Manage your spell. You've got 2 empty slots, and my animators should also have empty slots. Okay. So I want to give innate copies of this spell to both of those two, because enemies have ways of destroying your ethereal gems. And then I'll give ethereal copies to the rest of them. So that means I'm gonna have to get a second blank slate. And of course we will upgrade both of them, which gives us the slots that we need. And now one of them will have to be changed to death, class swap death. And what else? And both of them need to be generous. I guess maybe not both of them, but might as well. It's probably a little bit overkill. Yeah, so go back to enchant, and both of the blank slates need to be generous. And you as well. And honestly, I think that might be all that we need. We could give them more charges. I don't think we'll need it though, because creatures aren't gaining traits that often. And for this specific thing, we'll need it. We'll rarely need to cast it more than once. But I guess we might as well, you know. And now, of course, let's not forget to actually equip these spell gems. I like that there's a little exclamation mark telling you which ones are new. So let's equip this on you, because you're already a sorcery creature, the Rift Dancer. You can just have it by default. And you... we changed the class to Death, so our animators can equip it. The reason I wanted these to have the innate copies of that spell is because generally they're the quickest members of our party. You'll have noticed whenever we get into battle, unless the timeline has been shuffled, either the Rift Dancer or the Animatus is going first. And so they will be ready to cast this spell. And the rest of the party, if the timeline has been shuffled, will have ethereal copies of that spell. Okay, now that that's done, I think we've got to jump into a realm which could be potentially dangerous, because we have a false god to take down. And of course I'm going to start out by trying to take it down on high realm instability. And we'll start out in a random realm. And if we fail, or if this false god feels like he's really difficult, we'll go back to the Arachnid Nest. But for now, let's just go to any random realm and see how it goes. Now in this realm, we're gonna have 6 enemies and a master. We've also immediately gained a couple of buffs. And let's see what are the properties we're dealing with. Healing every turn, and our gems are sealed after casting. That's not good. Enemies also have dodge chance, which is bad because, well, because if our gems are sealed after casting, we're not going to rely on our spells as a way to fight, and then also enemies have dodge chance, so this could be... And we have less attack damage. And enemies resurrect on death. Okay, this, I don't have high hopes for this situation. Alright. Yeah, that's the kind of nonsense that we can expect. In this battle. Alright. Maybe one day this fight is gonna end. Okay. I have half a mind to just there we go. I have half a mind to just immediately give up on this realm, but we'll see what we can do. This feels like it would immediately doom us. Like, for only 15% reward, I'm not gonna give it more speed, but I mean, let's give it less speed. That just was not a good set of choices for us. We do have some loot in that giant chest. Let's grab all of these emblems. Smash and grab some of these chests. Get some favor with Aurum. And yeah, let's fight some more enemies who are gonna be reflecting damage. Okay. Once again, let's try and hit them, because 74% dodge chance is bad, but with 5 attacks, the odds of hitting at least once, I guess, would be around 50-50. I haven't fully done the math. What would the odds be of hitting at least once? Let's see, it would be 0.74 to the power of 5 would be the odds that we miss all 5 attacks, and then 1 minus that would be the odds that we hit at least once, which is probably higher than 0.5. Once again, okay. You know what? Let's reduce this false god's health as well. Let's see what we can do. This time our animatus goes first. Oh no. I don't know why that enemy was so tanky, but unfortunately it meant that these creatures survived. What are they fused with? They're fused with constructs. Maybe there's a construct that's particularly tanky. And these guys are resurrecting too, which is just causing even more garbage. Don't we have a Rune of Sa? Okay, interesting. Well, I was saying, don't we have a second rabbit dementia, but I guess we don't. If gems are going to be sealed after casting, then there's no point saving spell gems, even against the boss. 3 debuffs we can handle, so let's just go and do that. Alright, we've got some buried treasure, which is always fun. Some more loot there. Arcane and repelling. Arcane is entirely useless with the gems sealed after casting realm property, but sure, I guess we'll take it. Again. This is a bit of a clusterfuck. There we go, that's what I wanted. Why did that guy come back to life? Anyway, I guess it's good that he came back to life because then he died, and then the subsequent corpse explosion killed everybody else. Alright. Let's give the false god more damage as well. And there are 2 more wandering enemies and 1 master to be found in this realm. And yeah. Oh, one reason enemies seem tanky, obviously, is because we're doing 88% less attack damage. So that's probably explaining why sometimes it seems like we're not doing as much damage as I would like. Oh, we nearly killed one of them. Alright. I don't wanna... And then he healed because of the realm property. I don't want to have to do this, but let's blight them with Defile. bit of a cheap way to win, but if enemies are gonna be cheesily healing for full, then I'm sorry, I'm just gonna do it. Alright, let's reincarnate you. Alright. Alright, so far, so good. There we go. Another enemy taken down. What are you gonna give us? Immune to indirect damage. Now, how often are we doing indirect damage? It might be pretty often, because I think if we want to do blight damage to him, I think that might be indirect damage, so we shouldn't take this. So instead, you know what, sure, let's give the false god more defense. Probably an awful idea, but you know what, we'll do it, see what happens. Rebirth, it's good for our whole party to have that. Alright, what are you gonna do? Let's just start out this time with reincarnation. It's rough, but I think with a second reincarnation we can finish the job. Come on. So, oh, there's one other change I need to make. A mysterious world, okay. We go to the game options. I think this is gonna be under battle text. And the other thing that I was told was that I can speed things up considerably by ignoring battle text, floating battle text. I tell you what, we'll mess around with that maybe in a regular realm for a boss fight. Let's keep battle text. Now we've found the master. Before we fight the master, let's see, is there anything, because we might lose this master fight, so let's of course it's a mimic. Why wouldn't it be a mimic? Alright, let's blight this mimic. You're the one with the non-ethereal defile. That will do, and then we'll do a reincarnation on you. Now our centaur duelist is going to attempt to attack and fail miserably. But let's just do rapid dementia, I guess. I don't know, I guess let's just reincarnate again. Archangel's Blessing is good, and let's do, I don't know. Attempting to attack one last time. Well, that sucks. But the blight is probably going to take him down. Yeah, Defile is sealed. Rapid dementia. You know what? Everybody just skip your turn. Oh, he's confused now. Because we landed one hit. Skip your turn. Let's wait for the blight to kill him. Because the blight's definitely gonna kill him, right? Right? Yep. And he came back to life, but immediately died again. Okay. And you open this chest. Nothing in there. And there's one little dead end, which may have a treasure chest in it. I know it's a long way to walk. I don't want to leave any loot just laying on the ground. Come on. Come on. Oh, and the buried treasure as well. Didn't have anything too exciting. You know what? That's okay. I guess we should do these. Oh, and there's a chest down here as well. I was gonna say, I guess we should do these realms too. Alright. That is fine. Let's just do this. Okay. This is gonna be pretty bad, but I think we can... again, damage them with light. And just reincarnate again, I guess. Well, you've got arcane, so it doesn't matter what you use. And one of them's probably going to die, which is hopefully going to set off the chain reaction that we're looking for. Come on. Come on. Gain some more favor, but more importantly, we wanted to open those chests up the back. And we'll do the same. Oh, and I don't think we've donated to Aurum yet, have we? We haven't. There we go, even closer. And we'll do these guys. This time we'll start out with Defile. And why doesn't my Rift Dancer have Arcane? I thought everyone had it. Has she? Oh, because she cast Archangel's Blessing, even though that's supposed to be a free cast, it nonetheless took away Defile. That kind of sucks. Because I was gonna have her cast Reincarnation. I guess it doesn't matter since we're not saving our charges. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then hopefully when Defile kicks in, it should kill them. It looks like the plan worked. Oh, there's a white among them, which is going to be really annoying. Depending on what kind of white it is. But looks like we've probably won, maybe? Yeah, there we go. More favor, more loot. And now, there's a few more optional combats we could do, but I think I'm gonna go straight for the Master and then the False God. And now we'll also get to see Blank Slate in action. Maybe. If I've been interpreting what the comment said, then that could change how this fight works. So we're fighting Gemlings. And they're starting out... Gemlings fused with constructs. They're starting out... Let's look at their traits. So these are their innate trait and the fusion trait. And then the Master of Gemlings is put as a temporary trait. So the mistake I was making, because if I had known it worked this way, I would have been doing this all along. The mistake I was making is that I assumed that the master traits, when you fight masters, wouldn't be treated as traits that can be removed. So if I, with my animatus, cast blank slate, it says all extra traits removed. Now they no longer have the master trait. And if we look at the... I'm keeping my hand off the right side of the controller. I don't want to accidentally cast this again. If we look at the text of this spell, it says all the extra traits gained during battle are lost. And I think that is a little bit misleading, because the mastery trait isn't something that they gained during the battle, it's something that they already had, but it's also something that the game, for some reason, doesn't consider to be innate. I think maybe... I don't know what the intention was, but if I was designing Master Fights, I would have probably made these traits not temporary, as in not something that can be easily gotten rid of by just one simple spell. But nonetheless, the game allows you to do it, and to be fair, a lot of the traits are really annoying, and when you've seen them once, most of them we've already seen once, there's really nothing you'll gain from seeing them again and again. Like, at least once you want to see them in action, but after that, you're probably good. After that, you're probably just fine. Getting rid of the traits and finishing these fights as quickly and as cleanly as possible. And let's do a reincarnation, an ethereal one, why not? A bit of chip damage. Okay, good stuff. Arbitration, you sure take away all our buffs, but you're also gonna... Oh no, we took away all of their buffs. That's what happened. Alright, so what do we do now? Arbitration is sealed. I don't know, just another reincarnation, maybe kill one of them. One of them is gonna die. Hopefully that cascades into death for all of them. Gemling Mastery is now 3. Alright, now let's fight this false god and see how long we will last. Interesting looking one. It actually seems to fit in with the color scheme of the realm in general. Alright, it says Mindwurm. What does he say? He says, "Ah, I smell fresh prey. I will tear you limb from limb and feast on your memories. Fear not, for I will make yours a quick death." Well, probably. So what sort of debuffs are we looking at? Some pretty bad ones. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out casting Defile. Nothing should stop us from casting this, right? Yeah, let's do it. And then the Rift Dancer is confused. But again, nothing should stop us from casting a double reincarnation. Which I'm doing not so much for the damage, but more for getting the health. But then the problem is Mindwurm's gonna have 4 moves. Let's see. The tail of Mindwurm is gonna go, the tail provokes. Then the head is gonna go, the head attacks. Then one of the orbs, this orb is gonna go and it's gonna cast a spell, probably some garbage. And then the saddle is gonna go. It grants protective buffs. So I could cast Antidote to reduce the duration on some of the debuffs, but I think I'd rather double cast Reincarnation. Yeah, I'd rather do that. Doing some trivial damage to this boss that has millions of... millions of health. I don't know why you died, but that's... oh, okay, all... okay, okay, finally we're through. Oof. Yikes. Alright. Now, our Vivifier currently is going to not be able to cast anything, so, and, oh, and our Ebony Ant, I was gonna cast Antidote with you, but you can't cast anything either, so all you can do is defend, I guess? You can also just defend. Now our Rift Dancer has a second turn to go, so reincarnation is sealed, but we do have the ethereal reincarnation, right? Yes, we do. Or should we just cast Antidote? Let's cast Antidote, because a couple of our creatures are feared and they are not gaining the stats. So we want to get rid of that. If at all we... the extra attack is probably hurting us really badly. Also the Dreadwhite. Ugh. Okay. We can resurrect somebody, I think. We've got why is that sealed? Did we already use it? Who even knows? Let's silence this boss. And now let us cast Defile again. And now the Ebony Ant can do something like reincarnation. Okay, we're powering our way through this. It's not been an easy fight, to say the least. But somehow we're making our way through it. Alright. What we need to do is, and by the way, the main reason we won is because of Blight. I cannot see the enemy boss health bar, so I couldn't tell you what it was off the top of my head that did all the damage, but it has to be Blight. Surely. We don't have any way to Blight with you, but we can do... no, we cannot. I was gonna say we can do Archangel's Blessing, but we can not. Can we do anything else that helps us in any way? We can Germinate. Yeah, let's Germinate one of these orbs. That orb, sending it to the bottom of the timeline. And with you, let's Defile the rest of these guys. And... honestly, let's try and attack. Let's do a Rabid Dementia. Finger of Death is not going to work. We don't have any more debuffs. Contagion, they don't have any of those. We could just wait for their turns to come. And then do something. Hang on. I'm trying to select the body. How do I... there we go. It increases all the body parts stats. Yeah, we'll let the body go and then hopefully die. And let's... You know what? I'm just gonna do Rapid Dementia. Yeah, we're not doing that much damage. Yeah, we hit it. It's gonna be confused. Hopefully that means it helps us somehow. What was the magic suppression? Right. Let's silence these orbs. Let's do a double reincarnation. Maybe we can kill one of these. We're doing okay damage with that. I just don't know how close any of them are to death. Let's just do it again. There we go. And he is dead. Okay. Defeated Mindwurm, what do we get for that? The Nether Orb of Sorcery. And we can... Whoa. Okay. We can choose one of these. Alright, let's see. Do any of these seem interesting to us? Interesting. Interesting. That's interesting because a lot of this build depends on gaining stats. Oh, that's interesting as well. I don't know about that. I mean, it, like, more damage and damage reduction in one package is pretty good, but let's see what else we can get. For enemy attacks, they will be scorned, and scorned override silence. So creatures cannot be scorned and silenced at the same time, except for, I think, some specific boss fights, where, like, only the boss can do it to you. Ooh. That's very cool. Obviously, temporal concentration or spell slinger seem like the way to do things. There's one thing I want to check. Just go. There's one. Well, we can do that later on. For now, let's just pick one of the ones that do with ethereal gems. What do we want them to do? Do we want them to not consume when used, meaning it'll be useful for spells that we're casting on multiple turns? Spells like the one that snares the enemy, and so this one is more useful for those that don't benefit from being cast multiple times in one turn. Like Germinate, right? Yeah, that's the one that it wouldn't matter if we cast it more than once per turn. Whereas this one would help things like Reincarnation. Obviously, if we had both of these, then it would be it will make things very interesting. Let's pick them not consuming charges. Yeah, actually no, let's go with not consuming charges. What does this do? Minions, buffs and minions. But let's go with temporal concentration. A heaping supply of treasure, including a, well, pretty garbage nether stone, and, of course, a new spell. What does this do? All its healing spells in your favor. And I guess you can cast it on enemies as well. Interesting. And what do we get? We get more dodge chance, less indirect damage, and more stat increasing. And we've already picked up that reward. Oh, and we've also beaten the realm quest. Get a bit more for that, and let's go ahead and do these optional combats as well. I'm just gonna start out with a Defile. Got some lucky damage as well, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. And the other question is, are we going to be summoning divination candle enemies? I think the answer is not in this. Not in this zone. The enemies are a bit too... The realm properties are a bit too annoying for that. And the exit is in this direction, so I guess we've got to go here anyway. And we'll do all the optional combats. Why not? Do you as well. I'll start out with a Defile. And then, you know, we'll just try and hit you. I'll just do an ethereal reincarnation. And this should end it. Yeah, especially with the Resurrect on death. That makes things a little bit too annoying, I think. There we go. And yeah, well, I guess we'll even do these. Alright, start out with Defile. And let's start out with Reincarnation this time. What? Alright. Getting through this relatively easily. Come on. Are these two gonna die, or are we gonna have to do something? We're gonna have to do something. Alright, let's try a double reincarnation, I guess. And that should do it. Okay, that's done, and then more of these. I guess you can get emblems from fighting those guys, so that kind of makes up for the very low favor you get. This one, it has class swap death, but it's still showing up under the, like, with the purple sorcery color. I don't know what the deal is with that. Anyway, I'm just gonna do reincarnation. And let me see something as well. Yeah, her blank slate is showing up with the correct color, but yours Well, here it's showing up with the correct color, but I don't know why. I don't know why it wasn't earlier. Yeah, let's just use the macro. Okay, hopefully this ends it. So one of these dies and the other one gets blown up. The other ones. Come on. Okay. Yeah, let's just do this. And that brings a very successful realm to an end. We beat the false god. Admittedly, a lot of the heavy lifting was done due to the fact that we had the healing realm property and we blighted the boss. But you know what? You take your wins however you can get them. And one thing I need to do is I need to look up the list of anointments. I'm trying to remember what the class was. Because this is important for later on. You know what? We can start cherry picking our anointments later because I don't think we've fought all of the false gods yet. Because first thing we need to do is we need to let's just stay with the Nature Guild because I like their bonuses. Let's seek out a new bounty. So we just fought Mindwurm. Then we need to fight these guys. Was it astrologer? Anyway, like there's a particular false god with a particularly useful anointment for our build. But before we fight him, because even if we're trying to get an anointment, it could take a while. So before we start doing that, let's start fighting Nebodar. We'll find him at realm 469. What is the realm we are at right now? It is 464, obviously. So we have one more realm. Let's roll ourselves a nice item bonus. Can we do better? I think we can do better. Well, we did barely better, but technically better. Let's see if we can get like 500. Okay, let's stick with that. 509% item bonus. Which is gonna be great. Alright, so I think we're done. We don't have anything else to do. We are still working on one project that's almost done. Well, experiment is gonna take 2 more realms, and then we can hand in our Rune of Prophecies, and our Goblet of Trials is also slowly filling up. Ooh, and also, what's our realm property? It is loot from all sources. Good to know. But anyway, yeah, that is going to be all for this episode. Surprisingly successful given the daunting realm properties. We beat the false god. We beat the master as well using that wonderful trick that I learned from, I'll just tell you their name. Kage no Onisu? I'm probably butchering the name pretty horribly. But yeah, that's where I got the wonderful tip about how you can basically get rid of enemy traits, including mastery traits. Again, I don't know if that's intended based on how masters are described, but yeah. Anyway, but yes, that's the wonderfully helpful person who gave me that tip, so thank you so much for that. And we're definitely going to be making use of that in subsequent videos. Maybe not every single master fight, depending on how annoying the mastery trait is, but definitely for a lot of them we're just going to be using that to obliterate their extra trait, which basically just turns it into a random trash mob fight. Seems a little bit overpowered, but you know what? In this very difficult game, you've got to take every advantage you can get. But yes, that is going to be all for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me in the next episode, where I think we just have one short realm to do, and then the episode after that will be a false god fight. But yes, until then, take care.